Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm Malik Haj, and this is War Alert. Brothers and sisters, we are at war. The abomination of desolation is taking place right now. The abominable, cruel destruction of the Palestinian people by the hands of false Israel. Brothers and sisters, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Brothers and sisters, let the readers understand the time. The abomination of desolation is the greatest sign given in human history of the time. The abomination of desolation, abominable, is the adjective of abomination, meaning causing moral revulsion. Hamas's uprising was suppressed by false Israel's abominable, cruel destruction. The meaning, the definition of abomination. This abomination of desolation, brothers and sisters, this genocide that false Israel is carrying out on the Palestinians. The 40,000 plus innocent civilians that has been killed. The majority of them women and children. The hospitals bombed. The refugee camps bombed. Brothers and sisters, the world has been angered. Nations of the world has been made angered by this abomination. Nations are protesting this abomination, this genocide that is taking place in front of the world. And the so-called leaders of the free world, America and Britain, along with false Israel. The nation's eyes have been opened up. The nations have been reminded of the true nature of false Israel, America and Britain. America and Britain is backing and funding and supplying this genocide that is taking place. The nations have been allowed to see this double standard in the laws that have been forged by America, Britain, false Israel, and the West. These same laws that are used to condemn and sanction nations, the laws that govern the nations of the world. However, these same laws do not apply to America, Britain, and false Israel in the West. So the world has been reminded of this double standard and this neo-colonialism that is stood on or stood by. Brothers and sisters, The abomination of desolation is the greatest sign given in human history and the trigger to the apocalypse. Brothers and sisters, the abomination of desolation is going to escalate and is escalated. This event is the event to prepare the world for the great and dreadful day of the Lord. This event is the trigger to the war that will bring this world to an end. The abomination of desolation. Now, brothers and sisters, false Israel is false. They're not the true seed of Abraham. False Israel has been set up by America and Britain, set in the Middle East in 1948. Brothers and sisters, false Israel, the false Jews, are the people who kidnapped the original black men and women, the Portuguese Jews, starting with the Portuguese Jews, kidnapped the black man and woman and sold us into slavery to America and the Americans and other European nations. Brothers and sisters, false Israel is using everything in their power to keep the truth of who we are away from us. False Israel is sitting in every elevated place manipulating the truth as if they're the true seed of Abraham and has cast an image of the original black man and woman that they've made of us to the world. And they are keeping, they have set one of them in our nation, Louis Farrakhan, who also is a false Jew. Now, brothers and sisters, the abomination that caused what's going on here? The abomination that caused desolation says, when you see the abomination that causes desolation standing here standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. Then let those that in Judea flee to the mountains. So, brothers and sisters, we're witnessing the abomination of desolation. Now, the abomination that causes desolation is false Israel standing in the holy place or being in Palestine. A people that is standing in the holy place, that is standing where it does not belong. That's the abomination that's causing desolation. And that desolation, but when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then recognize that her desolation is near. So, brothers and sisters, false Israel sold us into slavery. False Israel used master's children, which are called demons, because they're half devil, half man. They're the house Negroes. They're the blacks that look original, but they're master's seed from 400 years of slavery. They're master's children, so they have the same nature as their fathers. So the false Jews use them to govern or to push us or lead us astray, the original black man and woman. Now, brothers and sisters, then the false Jews took up after kidnapping you, selling you into slavery. Then they built schools in our neighborhoods, gave, wrote, and gave us the curriculum that they designed, that they put together, that they wanted us to have from grammar school through college. False Israel then created the civil rights movement to counter our claim of being the true seed of Abraham. America and Britain set up false Israel in 1948. 1948 is the same time the messenger of the covenant or the Christ was concepted. Let's say May 14th, 1948. So that makes false Israel 76 years old. And the Christ, 75 years old. Now, America and Britain set false Israel up in 1948. However, the Christians and the false Jews, have been at war for thousands of years. And the final solution, the false Jews were on the brink of being destroyed or annihilated totally. And this was known by all the European nations because the Christians had been killing and exterminating and moving false Jews around for thousands of for years. Now, in 1948, because of our claim being made by Elijah Muhammad, sharing with the world that we're the true seed of Abraham, the Jews became a honeypot and was set up in the Middle East. Now, brothers and sisters, their false Israel is a desolation, is an abomination that is causing desolation because they don't belong in the Middle East. They're false. They've been set up by America and Britain. Now, brothers and sisters, they've stolen our identity. And they're saying that they're the true seed of Abraham. However, brothers and sisters, ask yourself, why don't these preachers, why they're not telling you anything about the abomination of desolation? Why you haven't heard about the Abrahamic covenant? Ask yourself that, brothers and sisters. Why they won't even mention it. And when they do, it has to pertain to false Israel. Brothers and sisters, ask yourself, why did Martin Luther King get killed when he spoke on the promised land? Why was Martin Luther King, at the time of his death, banned or kicked out of his out of being able to even go into churches? Kicked out of his own movements. Brothers and sisters, False Israel is false. And there are our enemy that has its foot on our head. They're our enemy. America is our enemy. That you think respects or have any love for you. But they've never had any respect, any it's like they've never cared not one bit about the original black man and woman. They're out to destroy us and has been since we were brought here. And false Israel's destruction, brothers and sisters, is going to bring in America's destruction. The abomination of desolation is what the world is witnessing. That is bringing in the apocalypse, and that is going to remove first false Israel. So when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, false Israel's destruction is near. And how long would it be for false Israel's destruction? Now, all right, brothers and sisters, how long would this last? This abomination that's causing desolation. All right. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? So the sanctuary is the land, and the host are the people that are being trodden underfoot. Now, how long, this is saying, Sharon, how long will this abomination take place? So, and he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So, brothers and sisters, 2,300 days, divide that by 30, and that gives you 76. So 76 days is 76 years. Now, from 1948 to 2024 is 76 years. So the abomination of desolation is taking place. The abomination that causes desolation is taking place. False Israel, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that her desolation, her destruction is near. So when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, the war has escalated. And the apocalypse has started. Now, this 76 years, brothers and sisters, this is the year that this lie of false Israel is going to be removed. This lie being removed is going to cause America and Britain's destruction as well. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to quickly move through some proofs, some literature, sharing with you so that you can understand your open enemy and understand who you're dealing with, Satan and the devil. Brothers and sisters, first off, we're the true seed of Abraham. The Abrahamic covenant is brought in with the Abrahamic vision. Brothers and sisters, no one on the planet can take the truth from you. No one on the planet has the proof of the vision of Abraham, but the original black man and woman of America. So, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquities of the Amorites are not yet full. Brothers and sisters, let no one keep you from the truth. No one can say or take this vision from you. No one has been taken from their land, enslaved, and afflicted, dehumanized, but the black man and woman of America. Tortured in unrestricted torture. Enslaved, kidnapped by the false Jews. Sold to America in American. Now, then told that the ones that stole us and sold us and been getting rich off of us and is living off of us and have their foot on our necks and has stolen our identity, you've been told by the Christians that have also enslaved you, dehumanized you, beat you, and have kept you up under the cross as a slave. And use their children to teach you, no, to give you, don't go out to teach, to give you the information that they had to place in your mind to keep you away from the truth. So the one that kidnapped you gave you, built the schools and gave you your curriculum. Made it look like they're helping you, but they're the ones that are living off of you. They're the ones that have stolen your identity. They're the ones that said they're you. All right. Now, all right, brothers and sisters, let's look at this. If one were to inquire more neutrally into what role Jews played in the Atlantic slave trade, one would find that it was a considerable one. During the formative years of the trade in the 16th and the 17th century, and a very small one when the trade reached much greater volume in the 18th and the 19th and the early 19th century. This change in the role of Jews relate, relative relative to the roles of the other Europeans had to do with shifts in power and culture that occurred among various Atlantic European nations over a period of some 500 years. The trade was dominated first by the Portuguese, which were the Portuguese Jews, then by the Dutch, and then by the English, and to a much lesser extent, the French. The reason for the important role of Jews in the early years of the slave trade are not hard to find. To put the matter in summary terms, Jews in medieval Europe had effectively been pushed by the Western branch of the Christian church away from land ownership and into commerce and financial dealings. During these early years of Western overseas expansion, many Jews continued to find opportunities for drawing wealth from commerce and finance under heavy threat in the 16th and 17th centuries. Many Portuguese and Spanish Jews found refuge in the Netherlands, a quasi nation that by that time had widely reputed tolerant for religion diversity. Jewish citizens of the Netherlands was able to participate in domestic and foreign trade. All right. We're not gonna read all this. We're gonna just all right. All right. Let me move this over a little bit so you can see. All right. Ironically, Jews were therefore able to make major investments in landing enterprises, which in tropical America meant slave plantations in Brazil and in Suriname. I can't pronounce that. This brutal trade, hold on, it's called, get that. All right, Suriname. This brutal trade in human beings was carried on by various African people and social political entities in the West and West Africa. Participating participating of these groups also waxed and and waned over the 500-year period. All right, brothers and sisters, just enough to understand that the false Jews sold us into slavery, kidnapped us, and sold us into slavery. Now, all right, brothers and sisters, now, the final solution that was taking place with the Jews, this is what was taking place. So, America knew the Jews was being slaughtered, and the rest of the world did as well. They wasn't saying anything in the beginning. Now, let us look. This is what was taken. What was the Jewish question? The final solution. The solution necessary implies a problem or a question. The Jewish questions have featured heavily in political discourse and debate in Europe ever since the French Revolution. The revolution had given French Jews full equality and citizenship, removing all the legal restrictions they had suffered under the divine right of the Christian monarchy, enabling Jews to come out of the ghetto in the legal and geographical sense. It had brought them political dignity and equal rights. The emancipation of the Jews in France coincided with that of the Protestants who had been tolerated since 1787 and become full citizens in 1789, but much more than for the Protestants. The granting of citizenship to Jews marked a break with age old prejudice and persecution in the Christian West. In the wake of the French Revolution, ideas contained in the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizens, 1789, in the Civil Code 1804, spread through Europe, and Jewish emancipation was achieved in several countries. Initially, these were states created by French conquest. Now, that's enough. Just showing you that the Christian church and the Jews were neck to neck. The Christian church was running them, wouldn't let them buy land, anything, kept them on the move. All right. So they were being killed because they was called Christ killers. Now, 1948, brothers and sisters. Before we get there, okay, 1948. So, 1948, brothers and sisters, is when false Israel was set up. So, false Israel was set up in 1948 by America and Britain. So, they went from being the final solution to get rid of them to now they were set in Palestine in 1948. Now, 76 years later, as the scriptures state, how long will this desolation take place? 2,300 days, which is divided by 30 is 76. So it lets you know 76 years from 1948 is 2024. Now, all right, brothers and sisters. Now, America and Britain set up false Israel in 1948. America, now false Israel, is building schools for the original black man and woman. False Israel is giving you the curriculum that you're to be taught. The churches, the Christians, and the false Jews have come together and they've given you a curriculum for religion. So in their Catholicism, school of Catholicism, or your Bible schools, or they had a curriculum. They had a narration, an interpretation that they gave with the scriptures that had to be kept. You can't go outside. They gave you a teaching ideology that you had to stick with to get to graduate. So you've been indoctrinated. So this is what you've been indoctrinated with from your schooling. The false Jews is controlling what you in America is controlling what you get in your mind because didn't know nothing. You coming out of slavery, you've been everything has been taken from you. You don't know how to read, you don't know how to write, but now the false Jews is acting like they're helping you. But then they have stolen your identity, stolen our identity. Now, what they're doing, they stolen our identity. Now they're going to walk, set up, listen, the false Jews set up the whole, they set it up, funded and paid for the civil rights movement. So, to make you think, now, we made our claim, they're being set up to redirect our claim. Now, they're doing the civil rights movement to stop you from separating, from stop you from doing for self, building your own nation, and Louis Farrakhan is one of them. He's a false Jew sitting in the temple of God claiming that he's God. He's the one telling you that you're not going nowhere. He hasn't produced anything in 42 years, and he deliberately destroyed the Nation of Islam. Now, let us look. The civil rights movement, brothers and sisters, is a counter. So it is unsurprisingly that the Jews responded powerfully to the fight against racial segregation and discrimination in America. After all, no group in history has been so frequently the victim of racial hatred as the result. Few segments of the American community have invested themselves as deeply as the Jewish community in the struggle of civil rights. As a result of the demands of faith and the Enlightenment, self-interest Jews served in the forefront of the fight to end racial segregation in education, public accommodation, and voting by planning an active role, playing an active role in the equality struggles of the 50s and 60s when the strong black Jewish alliance was at the heart of the civil rights movement. At the heart of the civil rights, strong. So, brothers and sisters, the false Jews enslaved you, sold you into stuff, kidnapped you, sold you into slavery, took your name. Now they've given you schools, giving you the curriculum. They handed everything that they want you to think. After they've been set with up under your name, now they're going to act like They're gonna give you everything to make you look at them like they're helping you, but they're the ones giving you the lie. Now they're feeding you the lie in your mind through the schools, through the churches, with the Christians. So, and taking you away from the messenger teachings. What was getting you was prepping you for the messenger of the covenant. All this was being blocked. Now listen. Okay. When the Mississippi Summer of 1964 was organized to break back the legal segregation in the, let's just do this right here. Jews help fund and or contribute substantially to the funds raised by such organizations as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and the Student Nonviolent uh, Coordinating Committee. For many years, Kiwi Kaplan, a vice chair of the Reformed Jewish Movement, was the national president of the NAACP. Ernie Arison and Joe Roth Jr. served as secretary and general counsel, respectively, to the Leadership Conference of Civil Rights, LLCCR. Jack Greenberg was the executive director of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. These were just a few of the many Jews who played key roles in the civil rights movement. Fittingly, in 1998, President Clinton presented the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Arison, an American Jewish leader who was the legendary A. Philip Randolph and Roy Watkins founded the LCCR for decades. Arison led Jewish and Black civil rights leaders in mapping strategies to pass more than 30 far-reaching civil rights laws. From 1910 to 1940, more than 2,000 schools and 20 black colleges, including Howard Dillard Fisk University, were founded in whole or in part by contributors from Jewish philanthropist Julia Rosenwald. Now, brothers and sisters, they founded and funded the civil rights movement after they took your identity and was set up in the Middle East, acting like they're they cared about you. But the laws that they set up benefited them. They the ones that are been getting paid. They're those laws that they lobbied and paid for and got pushed in. And they used the blackface demons as if they were the original black man and woman. Or see, brothers and sisters, they use black faces, the wolves in sheep clothing. So to push their agenda. So you say, why are the Christians telling you that the false Jews are the true seed of Abraham? Why are they telling you this at church? Why the church is selling you this? And you can't put one and one together. But they love their father. And it's been like that. The preachers and the overseers was master's children. So, brothers and sisters, now you see your open enemies, and then the false Jews kidnaps you. They're sitting in Palestine, and their 76 years is coming, is ending this year. So they have to be removed. This weight on our head, this Jewish lie that they have taken our identity, set themselves, but America, who enslaved us and has been afflicting us for 400 years, over 400 years, practically going on. Let's say, from 1619 to 2019 is the 400-year period. So, brothers and sisters, false Jew, false Israel is false, and false Israel was about to be destroyed. Now, brothers and sisters, so all this is taking place. Understand, scriptures say, "Come." This is them speaking. Let us deal shrewdly with them. These they multiply, and it happened in the event of war that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. So why are they worried about us going up out of the land? Brothers and sisters, they've been dealing shrewdly with us for hundreds of years. 20 over 20 million black babies killed by abortion. Margaret Sanger. We've been given syphilis. We've been given all AIDS. Think about all the things that they've been doing to destroy us. They've been after the black man, killing the black men. The original black man have been attacked. They've been separating our families since slavery, empowering our woman, making her, trying to separate the man and make the woman the head of the house, put the black man, kill him or put him in jail. Keep him away from his children. Separate the the elders from the youth. This is the same thing that they've been doing from the Willie Lynch program. Then they set drugs on our head. They took jobs from us. Brothers and sisters, they are dealing shrewdly with us. America, who set up false Israel, to they and were at war with each other. So they said, we're not gonna let them. We can't allow our enemy to rise. Because they know when we rise, brothers and sisters, it's their fault. It's they're going to fall. They both of them equally has dis- destroyed our nation. Try to destroy our nation. Now, in closing, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna do a I'm gonna redux this, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna get this to be a shorter, more precise with the information. However, so in closing, let us all right, brothers and sisters. In closing, all right, brothers and sisters. Louis Farrakhan is the seed of a false Jew, a Portuguese Jew. His father is Percival Clark, who raped his mother, who tried to abort him 3 times and was not successful. Louis Farrakhan, when I say they have people in every elevated place, and the scripture, brothers and sisters, let you know that the false Jews, a false Jew and a devil or a demon is sitting in the temple. Now, this is his father, Percival Clark. This is Louis Farrakhan's seed bearer. He's a Caucasian and a false Jew, a Portuguese Jew from Barbados. Now, brothers and sisters, let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away came first and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So, brothers and sisters, the scripture shared that the man of sin, that means he's wicked by nature, he's a Caucasian, the son of perdition, he's the son of hell, he's the son of hell, he's the son of a false Jew that is sitting in the temple opposing and exalting himself above all that is called God or that is worshiped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God. So he's sitting in God's temple claiming that he's the true seed of Abraham. And he's the synagogue of Satan. He's a false Jew himself. And that's why he's telling you we're not going nowhere. Trump can make a deal. Whites devils can be coming to the temple. You're praying with the Sunnis. He has you worshiping the golden calf. Has you be in Scientology, modern day Catholicism. You're not going nowhere. Nothing's been produced. You have no economic program. You don't want separation. And every time they talk about separation, they talk about you only separating in the mind. As if you ain't physically been kidnapped, stolen, afflicted, enslaved. So, brothers and sisters, false Israel is false. False Israel has given the world a vision of the original black man and woman, God's people. They have put this image of us and pushed it out on the world as we're nothing people. Lazy, hoes, pimps, dope dealers, druggies, alcoholics. We don't love our children. We don't take care of our family. We won't protect our women. This is the image that they have put out on us. And the information that you have to rotate on, they're the ones that indoctrinated you with all this information to keep you away from the truth, to keep you away from knowing that you're the true seed of Abraham. That's their goal. So they can exterminate you before you even figure it out. So, brothers and sisters, the messenger of the covenant. Behold, I will send my messenger who will prepare the way before me. Then the Lord whom you seek will suddenly come to his temple, the messenger of the covenant, in whom you delight. See, he is coming, says the Lord of hosts. Brothers and sisters, the messenger of the covenant is Daniel the prophet, who's sharing with us the abomination of desolation, the desolation that caused this abomination. The messenger of the covenant is the one that is teaching and sharing with us that we are the true seed of Abraham, reminding us of the vision, but also the only one sharing with us the Abrahamic covenant. Oh, excuse me, brothers and sisters. The Abrahamic covenant. Right? Okay, here we are. Okay. We'll pull back on him and we'll come. We'll say, in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the river, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. This is the covenant. This is the promise. This is the agreement from us going through. He said he shared the vision of the great horror that Abraham's seed will go through, the 400 years of being afflicted and enslaved. And it said afterward they will come out with great substance, and they will return. And in that fourth generation, they will return hither. They will return back to their land where they was taken from. They will return back to in that same day. The Lord made a covenant, saying, "Unto thy seed have I given this land from the river Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates." Brothers and sisters, we're hated by the nations because our rise is their fall. This ain't something that happened just hypothetically, that false Israel still is sitting in the Middle East when for 76 years, surrounded by millions of Muslims, having to be supported and supplied by the Muslims. So, brothers and sisters, this is the shock of the hour. It's going to stun not just America, but the dragon, Britain and America. It's going to shock the world when false Israel is destroyed. Now, brothers and sisters, the messenger of the covenant, he's letting us know that we have a land that is ours. And we're going home, brothers and sisters. The messenger of the covenant will suddenly appear in the messenger's temple in the nation of Islam, warning us and sharing with us the truth, giving us our mind back, and will teach this gospel of the Injil to the world, and the end will come. Brothers and sisters, before there's victory or defeat, when the war breaks out, escalate, when Iran makes its move, and the war escalates. Michael and his angel goes to war with the dragon and his angels. Michael and his angels massacre Muhammad, Iran, Syria, and the Shia Muslims. And they're going to war with the dragon, the house of Saudi Arabia, who is sitting on our land, who is the fuel, giving the fuel to this reality, that's fueling this reality. The house of Saud is the dragon, and his angels is America, Britain, and false Israel. Brothers and sisters, when America sees that they're losing and they know where they're going to be able to stop false Israel's destruction, in America, before they get kicked out the Middle East, they're going to send out a national security alert, brothers and sisters, to kill all blacks. Brothers and sisters, when false Israel goes down, it's going to shock the world. Fear is going to come up over them because they know already what time it is. You don't understand what time it is, but brothers and sisters, they know. And when that takes place, fear is going to consume them just instantly, just the fear alone, because they know that they're being judged. They know who we are. They know that the lie has been removed and we're coming together. And we will come together overnight. And they already said, let's deal with them shrewdly, because when war break out, they'll come together and come against us and leave the country. So don't you think they're not expecting? They're gonna attack us, brothers and sisters. The fear they for the fear alone is going to make them attack us, because they know that we're the personification of their consequence. We are the people who they have afflicted and enslaved for 400 years. Up until this point, they have not changed. That's what the abomination of desolation is showing you, brothers and sisters. Their thinking, their nature has not changed. The same thing that they are doing in front of the world to the Palestinians is what they don't have no remorse for stealing, killing, and taking. None. They don't have no remorse for killing babies. So do unto them as they has done unto you. So there will be no remorse. There won't be no consequence for what happens to them, brothers and sisters. This is the consequence they're receiving. And it says, give them double. So, brothers and sisters, you will get the word to flee. We're going to flee before we're attacked. To come together overnight like a mighty army to protect our women and children, our nation, and begin the process of getting out of here. Brothers and sisters, first you have to get your mind back, and we will be going through tribulations, a time of unprecedented trouble, a time like never was and never will be again. Brothers and sisters, we will be successful using our 5 pillars of Islam. Brothers and sisters, the abomination of desolation is taking place right now. The 76 years of the abomination that is causing desolation is going to be removed any day. 76 years. It said, how long, brothers and sisters? 200 and 2,300 days divided by 30, 1948. That's 76. 76 years puts us in 2024, brothers and sisters. The abomination of desolation is escalating, will escalate to phase 2 that will bring Jerusalem surrounded by armies, and its desolation is near. When we bring the destruction of false Israel. So this lie of our, our captors, this lie of those that have been living off of us for 500 years. Lying, keep trying to lying to you, brothers and sisters, and using all their propaganda, their Hollywood, and their move everything to keep your brain, keep you from thinking, to keep your mind off of the truth. Got you. When you look at sports, all that is designed by look who owned it. Look who your radios and who's who's your everything behind it. The false Jews, America, and the Christians. You ask yourself, no one is speaking about the abomination of desolation. Why? Why no one's telling you about what did you see of Abraham? No one, brothers and sisters, no one can take that from you. No one can say that they've been through, took, and enslaved in a strange land for 400 years. Then you got the false Jews going through 1940 to 45, talking about that ain't no 400 years. And then now they're the true seed of Abraham. But the world is seeing their true nature. Ain't not there ain't no God's chosen people. They're the synagogue of Satan. Just like Jesus of 2,000 years ago shared with him. Esau shared with him 2,000 years ago. Oh no, you're not the seed of Abraham, you're the seed of the devil. The devil is your father, and the works of him that you will do. You're murderers. I'm gonna leave it right there, brothers and sisters. Greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Man, do this over, brothers and sisters. But shorten it.